Hey, welcome. My name is Nadia, and welcome to My Views Extended. Um, I am just here restarting my solo podcast. Um, I stopped in 2017. I did it for, I think, a little over a year, and I really, really enjoyed it. And life got a little hectic. It is now 2014. Life is not any less hectic. It's probably a little more hectic now than it was back then, but that's okay. I really, really enjoyed it, and I just wanted to come back and kind of share a little bit of my journey. I call it a journey back to health, back to the very strong person that I was. And for me, it kind of took a rapid downhill to a point where I thought I was managing, but I'm not. It's affecting me, in work, in life, and affecting me so much so that kind of at the end of summer 2023, I stopped um, praying. I stopped meditating. Well, not praying, but more meditating. Stopped working out. Stopped, working out with my weights, yoga. Um, wasn't really focusing on nutrition like I was, to the point of, I'm missing meals or I wasn't really eating enough. Um, I found a fantastic naturopathic doctor because I don't have a general practitioner anymore. She moved away, and I was just going to walk-in clinics, which is not that great in my personal opinion because you're seeing new people every time you go to the clinic. So I had wanted to see a naturopathic doctor for a long time. It took me a really, really long time to find one, and so I just went ahead and, good vibes. I think we click as patient doctor really well, and we are currently working on getting my cortisol levels down because they are constantly really high and have been for years, and working on my nutrition. So we're just slowly going down the list. I found a massage therapist, and he specializes in Japanese shiatsu, acupuncture, and reflexology. And I just had a fantastic second visit with him, and yeah, he's great. Today we did massage, shiatsu massage, acupuncture with electrical stimulation, and reflexology on my feet. Um, and yeah, I feel really good. I felt great the first time. I feel really good today. I think I'm going to be a little more sore this time around over the next couple of days because we focused more on my lower half this week. Um, so right now I'm currently going out once a month. Because massage is not cheap. What else am I doing? Yeah, in the last couple of weeks I've gone back to lifting weights, uh, stretching every day. I want to get and walking. I want to get back to my 5 to 6 days a week of throwing my weights around and working with my exercise bands. But I'm doing what I can. I'm having to work on sleep. What else am I working on? Um, yeah, so basically working on getting my stress levels down. There's a lot happening at work right now that I obviously can't speak about because it's currently happening. Um, but yeah, I'm looking for trying to figure out how to get that more stabilized, and we'll leave it at that. So yeah, between work, I want to get back the focus on the physical and mental and spiritual. All for me, all those three need to be in collaboration with each other. I feel very much unbalanced. And yeah, I'm going to work on getting those three together. Today was an interesting day. So I woke up, left my appointment, and I decided I'm like, I'm going to treat myself to a latte um, with soy because also I did a food allergy test and apparently I'm not supposed to be eating dairy, wheat, peanuts, almonds, eggs, and oats. So I would substitute, with a latte I would substitute the cow milk with oat or almond, but I can't do that. But it was good, so I had a soy latte. So I feel good. I don't feel like super super tired like the last time from my massage. So I was close to Stanley Park. If anybody knows Vancouver area, Stanley Park is like the big famous touristy park, but it's really beautiful even at this time of year. So I was like, I'm just gonna walk far enough, walk slowly, and finish my latte, and then when I'm done, I'm gonna finish it and come back home. And so I did that. And then I was coming close to catch the train to come back home, and there was a guy on the road, like splayed out, and he obviously was a drug user, and I was like, started walking, and I was like, and my conscience can't just let me see something and walk by, because I saw him, he was splayed out, and then there's another guy, he was a homeless person, and he was wrapped up in his blankets on his cardboard, and he was fine. He just peeked out, he was looking at people, and I was like, oh, he's fine. And let me preface this by saying that I see every day on my way to work, I see at least one or two homeless people, wrapped up in their blankets. And then I see 1 to 3 people having just finished taking their hit of whatever. And if you know the drug lean, where they're just kind of, doing the drug lean, you can look it up, or if you've seen it, you know what I'm talking about already. And so I'm used to seeing that, and as long as people are on their feet, I just go on my way. But this younger person, he was not 30 years old, and he was passed out, and I couldn't, in good conscience, just walk. So I was like, shit. So I get on my phone, I kind of look up, and I'm like, oh, it's not good. And I was looking for seeing his breath, and so I called 911. The operator came, blah blah blah. He asked the questions, and he's breathing, and he's like, okay, and they will do this with you. Okay, when I say this, tell me. They'll give you like a word to say every time you see their chest move with a breath, and then like, okay, and so we just stay on with me, and we'll wait till the ambulance comes, and ask him some questions, and if he's not on his back, the person's not on their back, put them on their back and tilt their head and all this stuff. And I was like, at this point, I was lucky that he was already on his back and his head was already tilted back, I guess, for any airway obstruction. And then he was kind of like moving his arm, and he's like, can you ask him if he has any heart condition? And because he was kind of opening his eyes and moving his mouth, I said, do you have any? No, first he asked me, because he saw that he was a little awake, do you want the ambulance to still come? And he said, yes, I want the ambulance to still come. So I conveyed, yes, he still wants the ambulance to come. And then asked him if he has any heart conditions. And I said, do you have any heart conditions? And he said, no, my mom died of a heart failure or something like that. I was like, oh no, he said he doesn't have any, he just said his mom died of a heart condition. And it was like, And then, so anyway, the ambulance came, And I was like, I'm good to go. And they're like, good. And so I just went on my way. And there was one other person, like while I was having the conversation, a young lady, she asked, have you called already? And I said, yeah, I did. She's like, okay, thank you. And then she went on her way. And then when I was crouched down by the person, and another guy, he came up and he's like, oh, and I didn't even notice him standing there because I was leaned over the guy, and he was like, I just flagged. He's like, I saw that you were talking, and I just was in the street because there was like a kind of a big sign, and he flagged I guess he was flagged the ambulance down because I guess we were blocked. They wouldn't have been able to see us where we were sitting, or the guy was on the ground. I was crouched by him. And I was like, okay, cool. And he's like, oh, I'm glad that you stopped and thank you so much, whatever. And I was like, I was like, what am I going to do? I'm like, I can't in good conscience, I don't know why I've had trouble with that word. I can't in good conscience see somebody in a situation like that and just walk away. And he's like, yeah, I get it. He's like, yeah, whatever. And I don't remember what the rest of the conversation was. So anyway, we went out our way, and I just remember getting really kind of upset because all these people are watching him, and I'm watching them, and everybody's just watching or completely turning away. And only 3 of us, to my knowledge, had concern about another human being. And I remember as I was walking away, walking towards the train after everything was done, I looked, and my chest started to get really heavy, and I could feel my face just, and I just like, I was trying not to cry. And then it was like, and I called my sister, and I was like, what is wrong with people? It's like you see somebody and they're like unconscious, and you just pass by, and I just burst out crying and it just seems like the last few times I've done this, unfortunately, I've done it a lot since living out here. You call, and I do what I feel that I should do, and I just get really emotional, and I just burst out crying. And then I was remembering him say that his mom died of heart failure, and then I'm seeing that he's a young person, and it reminds me that everyone dies, right? And most of us will bury our parents. There's a few of us, unfortunately, who our parents will bury their children. But most of us will bury our parents. That's just a cycle of life. Everyone dies. And I understand some people can be very flippant about it and they don't get upset by it. They're not upset by their parents dying, or they're just like, that's how it is. Like, why are you making such a big deal about it, and getting it overly emotional? And that's fine. If that's you, this conversation is not for you. You can move on. I don't need to hear your very callous statements. But there are a lot of people who, when their parents die, they turn to, self-destructive behaviors. They cannot handle it. They cannot process it. And I'm just wondering, like, I'm not going to know the answer to this, but it's like, did you turn to drugs after mom died? Were you on drugs before mom died? And it just gets me thinking, like, when you see people, whether they're homeless or they're on drugs, and you see a lot of young people, like under 40, with serious addictions, and it's like, what happened in your life? What hurt you so bad that, that you turn to this? It's very, very, it's sad, it's scary, and it's just heartbreaking, you know? Everyone's busy. Everyone has their own problems. Everyone is stressed out to some degree. Um, People are on their way to work, on their way to appointments, on their way to picking up their kids, for example, or they're going to an appointment or having to drop somebody off at an appointment. And I get people are busy, but for me, it's like seeing people in such a state and it not bother people. It's how does that not bother you? Um, is it because it's not you? Is it because it's not a family member or a friend or somebody you love and care about? Do you feel that they did it to themselves? So why should I put my care and emotion and time into it? I just think it's very interesting. And I think I may have also burst into tears, not only because I think maybe because I was a little angry at so many people, dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of people walking by and just either ignoring or looking at him and just keep walking and leaving him. And um, kind of human beings are kind of trash. Kind of that's how I felt. Like human beings are garbage. Like human beings are horrible. You see this person possibly dying, and you just walk on. We can't fix everyone. We can't save everyone. But when you see it right in front of your eye, you just walk on. I don't know. I just went from feeling really, really light and feeling good and feeling happy that I made a good choice with, my new massage therapist, um, to having all those emotions. And I know that I took in a lot of his emotions. I didn't protect myself properly. Um, but all the distress and the emotions I took in. And I'm okay now. It's been a few hours, but yeah. So, anyway, meditation. I got to get back to meditating and protecting myself because, and not taking in other people's energy and not taking in strife and anguish and pain and distress, taking in madness, taking in craziness, taking in the hollowness that people who are suffering feel, because that's not good. That's all part of stress, and I do speak about spirituality, um, because spirituality is a big part of my life. Um, Again, if spirituality isn't for you, you can take it or leave it. Um, but yeah, this page is definitely going to be speaking about spirituality, mental health, physical health, and I hope you join me on my journey. So that's it for today. I'm going to stop blathering on, and I will see you in episode 2, hopefully within the next week or so. I'm still figuring out my schedule. My name is Nadia. I am in British Columbia, Metro Vancouver, and this is My Views Extended. See you next time.